not be speaking again until you have all the introductions.
Let's see. All right, I'm just seeing if I can fire all of these off real quick. All right, Instagram worked. Let's see if I can figure out.
I got a YouTube announcement, so it says you're live.
All right, so Facebook's the only straggler. All right, I'll worry about Facebook next time then. All right, let's see. All right. Hey, everybody just coming in. Welcome. James, Josh, PNW Collectibles, Light One. Okay, I can see YouTube comments in here. A-Dub, thank you. Derp, welcome. It was a larger submission than I would send in for myself, but I'm sure you know Keith at this point, and Keith only does things in large quantities. So this was, I want to say, I should have had that up still, like 167 cards, I think.
I think that number sounds right.
Somewhere around there. I know it was over 150 because it was a lot of cards to review, but it was fun. I wish there was hockey in there. I will start having some of my own hockey come back. Thank you for popping on over to YouTube. Okay, so Keith had me review, actually it was probably closer to 200 cards in total because we didn't end up submitting all of them.
Yes. I've got you recommended not to submit 5, 10 holograms, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24 of the 96 Masterpiece, and 3 of the X-Men Black. So it probably was about 200 cards I sent you.
Deacon, welcome. Shadow Kitty, welcome. Yeah, so it's a little bit easier for me to review other people's cards because if those had been my holos, I would have been too emotionally invested to say like, oh, let's don't send those. Sometimes when they're mine, I kind of make excuses for the cards, if that makes sense. But when they're somebody else's, I can say like, this is not going to be an 8. Don't do it.
Well, and I wanted to kind of keep it into that realm, but on the flip side, the holograms are all personal. I was grading to archive. I don't have really any plans to turn around and sell these at any point in time. It's possible I could play the game and try to upgrade over an extended period of time, or I could, there's definitely some duplicates and some things like that might come up, but I'd rather trade those for ones I'm missing. The 96 Masterpieces, there were a couple pieces in there. I was looking to try to get an upgrade for my collection, and we actually did hit some of that. And then the 2020 X-Men Metal Black Low Series, those cards were specifically trying to find some better ones to upgrade a set I'm trying to liquidate. We had a couple, when I graded those, most of them came back very high, but there was, I think it was about 10, somewhere between 5 and 10 cards that weren't weren't a 9 or better. And so those were in this. And then I sent in the rest of my extra black high series just because why not?
Yeah, so, I think you did pretty well with those. The ones, I know we didn't send all of them, but a lot of those sometimes have chipping issues. Actually, the 96 sometimes do too. But I thought you did really well. Omar, welcome.
So I think we can just start showing off some stuff and then at the same time kind of talk about like a little bit of your process, a little bit of the What's what here?
MSG, welcome. MSG
Uh,
is somebody else who is going to be okay if I start doing hockey. Manu, welcome. Okay, so you went ahead and sorted these because that's how you are. They were initially all mixed up. So the goal here, again, was for you to get 8s or better.
mm-hmm.
So I'm used to just pulling for 10s, so this was kind of a fun challenge for me. I don't know, maybe challenge isn't the right word. It was fun. It was fun to be able to send a little, I don't want to say lower grade, but lower grade cards.
So you have talked about in the past sometimes, giving them a couple, putting a couple in that aren't straight
Yeah,
up.
I call them my dogs. I throw in a couple dogs, and it's completely, you guys, it's a total like superstition with me. I like to throw in a, like, if I have a set or a submission, I think it's like they're all 10s, they're perfect. I just have it in my head that PSA is not going to want to give me all 10s. So I like to throw in a couple that, they can chew on a little bit, downgrade. So there should be a couple in here.
I saw James asking if I'm on the Neopets train yet. And Upper Deck has to do me a favor to get me on the Neopets train. And that is the slow down on all these other sets that I really, really, really need in my life. Because the current releases of Beginnings, Fleer Ultra Wolverine, annual on ePack, I am so torn and scattered right now about what I'm chasing.
Deacon, that's just because I completely overthink it 100%. So that one for sure was a 10. That was a 10 all day long.
Came through just as yet. That's a great one to 10. I mean, Domino's we all know that the female characters have extra chasers for them.
I haven't seen, this is one of those sets where when I don't have it in hand, I think, I've had this set in the past, I'm over it. But when I get this 96 set in hand again, I start thinking like, oh, maybe I should rechase this. That one was clearly a 10.
PSA agrees with you.
That's nice. It's nice when that happens. Jonathan, welcome.
I don't want to get too far ahead into the spoilers, but the grades came really well in line. What did we have? Like 3 under the target, maybe 2 under the target? Did we have any? It was very minor under our target for that. And I think that there was some you talked to me about that were holograms, and that I was just like, just send it. Like I'm kind of getting into the point in time with the holograms that I love when I'm collecting to have everything in one, uniform kind of way.
Right. Menu, yes, there are. Brian, welcome. Ginter, welcome. Bobaka.
We have gold galleries and we have double impact, and gold galleries are actually one of my favorite parts of the submission. Those gold galleries and impact are the ones that I'm trying to personally get upgraded copies for.
That's one of my favorite cards in the set.
My goal is on my 96 set is to have an all 9 set. And yes, 10 is better, but I felt 9s was very achievable. And my base set is complete in 9s now. I believe I have, before this submission, I have 3 of the double impacts in 9s, and I have 0. Before the submission, I have 0 gold gallery. Gold gallery are tragic as to how they were produced. Like, they chip on the edge hard.
Those are really difficult grades.
As you see, we're stacking 9s so hard and splashing a couple 10s inside this.
So some of these will be available then.
Yes. A vast majority of, all the base cards were extra. I was still working on building a PSA 10 set of base cards from 96 to sell. I think I'm now at the point where I'm going to break that up.
Okay.
I'm going to sell the 10s now separately. I have probably, after this submission, I'm looking at right at about 100 10s that I have for this set in base cards. There are certain cards I don't have. I think that the unique count now is up to 75 or 78 that are in a 10.
You're going to set registry these, right?
I already have mine set registry.
Okay.
For my 9 set. My 9 set is inside there. Actually, it may still be listed as with some of the 10s. I need to go through and edit that as I sell. But I mean, nothing that we've submitted here at this point in time has been below an 8. We've not seen one.
Yeah, it was really neat to see these again.
The art of Julie Bell and Boris Vallejo on this set always was so impressive. And here you guys go. If you know the numbering and where we are in the numbers, this is a real highlight. I'm
still irritated with this one. I would like to crack and resubmit this one.
I wanted this to 10 so hard. Getting a 10 on this it's the hardest base card to see a 10 on.
I am unclear as to why this one didn't 10.
It's a beauty. I've had 5 9s on this and never a 10.
Yeah. I'm certain they look at that one special.
Yeah, it is the most valuable base card by a long shot.
Bobicus, I'm on a mission.
Punisher 10. That's for resale value. This is amazing. Punisher's one of the characters that doesn't get enough cards right now.
So that Psylocke card, funnily enough, I used that one as a promo, and Instagram sent me a message that they couldn't share my content because that card was too sexually explicit, and I had to go back and forth with them on it, and finally they took it off.
It's also kind of fun. Like, this is a great example of a fun card. Scarlet Witch is not the Scarlet Witch that most people would think of because we're in the middle, deep into the 90s versions of costumes.
Yeah. The costumes in this set are definitely like a snapshot in time. Carlos, I need a internet tutorial if I can bother you for that at some point. StreamYard specifically. Bill, welcome.
I don't know why this card always 10s for me. I think I have 4 10s on this one. Thankfully, I have 1 9 for my collection. I think this is our first under. And
yeah, that one, when the edges and everything is that dark, and the cards
Surfer is one of the most difficult
long.
ones. Yeah, he's another low pop on 10. That doesn't surprise me, and I think that's the kind of card that I always would take a shot with, just in case.
Yeah, it's funny. PSA 7 is one of those, like, I get kind of hung up on it because people absolutely 7 is, they sometimes act like a 7's trash. A 7 is a near mint card.
I've hit this one in 10 several times.
Every time I see that one, I just think about how much better I like the one from 93.
Which one? Who did the art on 93? I'm trying to picture it real quick.
Got that terrible spider on it.
Oh, I do remember.
Eric, be nice to Carlos. He's a VIP.
Another tougher to grade one. 8's respectable for this guy. And it's just like you said, it's all that dark edging.
I was hoping that one would get an 8. That was one that I thought was maybe a wobbler, but it's worth it. I mean, you have to take a shot on Venom.
Yes. Yep. I think I've hit 2 9s on that one. Do you want to talk about the new case?
The new
PSA case?
for comics?
No, it's this, isn't it? Wasn't it? Didn't you say this is new and updated?
They definitely do feel. I have not looked to confirm that, but these holders feel different to me, and the plastic seems clearer.
A little bit of an upgrade. I was talking to PSA at the booth about the comic side of things, and they have some technology stuff that is really, really strong for comic grading. They're the only ones doing, like UV protectant. Their slabs currently are, for comics, are much stronger. They have thrown them off of a one-story building, and they survive.
Oh, that would be fun. I wish I'd like to be a part of that. Many we missed out on that.
I had a really good conversation with them on Sunday to kind of like, no, I have my own PSA account here for the store. I do mostly I've sent in cards. Like this is everything I've done has been Marvel cards, specific. Even in comics, I haven't submitted a lot to CGC. Although the Amazing Fantasy 15 that we submitted and came back and sold in 3 days, that was real nice. We just completed that transaction today.
Yeah, Brian, I love that one.
So many nines.
The reviewing takes so long, and the going through them once they get back goes so quickly.
So where do you think that these falter the most? This 96 set. If somebody was going to take a look at their own, what was the number one thing that you would say you really got to pay attention to this, and so you won't be disappointed when your grades come back?
I don't think there was anything set specific with this.
Okay.
It was mostly, I'm trying to remember what they had. Just surface things, which are just from being loose since 1996. Something gets in the penny sleeve, just a little bit of something.
I guess our number 27 here on the night, but you said we give a couple dogs, right?
Yeah.
I've found that this set does a little bit of a tendency to dimple.
Right. That's the surface issues.
Yeah. And that it's easier to pick up edging issues with this.
So
it's only an 8, whatever. The next step will be for me to put these in the sleeves.
That's a great one. I really like that one.
Most of this was a buy I made of a complete set. And I kind of bought it online a little blind. I got an all right price on it. If I had seen the full condition of it, I probably would not have offered as much. I don't think it was bad, but I think that there was enough going on that I definitely would have not paid full premium for this set. This was my 7th set I bought.
Well, so this did finish off your set, though.
For my complete 9, I still need some inserts.
Okay.
I have a graded set, but I think it's 3 of my double impacts and all of my galleries needed upgrades before this.
That's a great one.
It's funny because this is an era that Spider-Man is not king of the roost. Historically, the Spider-Man cards inside this set have not been they've barely been top 10, like valued chase wise. There are several other cards that, like this Carnage is in that range where it's a based upon art, based upon the earlier years of Carnage, it's a higher chase. Wolverine's almost always had a stronger showing here with this set. It's not to say Spider-Man's just a straight slouch here.
No, right.
But I think the Spider-Man cards are great. But the Venom outperforms the Spider-Man greatly in this set. And Wolverine typically outperforms Spider-Man.
9.9 is asking, what's the premium price for a raw set these days?
I would go up to $3,000 right now, if I could absolutely verify condition. I am a buyer of almost all sets unless I see severe edging problems at $2,200. It's actually not the highest it's been. I would not consider today it's the highest. You know, like there's such an amount of money spent in Marvel cards today that are focused upon serial numbers. Yeah. And this set's not serial numbered. It's also difficult to explain to somebody how the print run worked on this. Why does this set matter so much in the history of things? Is because in '94 we got so much. We had so many sets. We had so much printing, so much going on. And then starting in '95, when bean counters started looking at profitability on these sets and wanted to cut back some of that, '95 started seeing a little bit of a dip in production. I believe that the numbers, that someone has the full numbers, so you know what, I'm not going to quote numbers. But the production in '95 was significantly less than '94 masterpieces. And then '96 was Marvel was entering bankruptcy. Marvel had tried to take everything back in the house to profit the best on it and was failing at those kind of endeavors. So this Marvel had bought Skybox at the time, and it was a bad move because they didn't know what they were doing with a card company. So the production numbers were drastically lower. This set came out at a higher premium where they were trying to charge more of an aftermarket price on the front end. And it had a very bad backlash with dealers and collectors who didn't think the cards would have that kind of value and worth. So
yeah, I remember this sitting around at the shop.
That was the point. It was seen by most people that it's a really nice and great set, but it was way too expensive. Like, who pays that for cards was the mentality. And that harmed this. That really, there's legends of so much production destroyed. I've never heard anyone who was in the know-how that could really speak to that. So I would not go off of that. But production was much lower. Sales were much lower. It didn't work out. And there were no future sets right after this because of the bankruptcy and what was going on in that direction. So this now has become a premium set of chase, where people are really, really looking into it. I remember for a very long, long time, this was my favorite card of the set. And it actually had less to do specifically with the card and had more to do with history. There is a comic out there called Wolverine 102.5. It was a Nabisco mail-in. You had to eat cookies and send in the coupons, right?
You had to eat the cookies?
I don't know. You could throw it. I mean, when I was chasing baseball cards and it was inside of cornflakes, I didn't eat all the cornflakes. But this was the cover that was also used for the mail-in. And that book now is seen as a big chase. What's really great is that book, I need a copy of that book because it is all card based. And what I mean by that is this is the cover and the interiors are the back of the 1995 Fleer Ultra Wolverine set. That the 9 panels that made a page, that's the actual comic. That was the reprint. So I need one of those for my card collection. And I had it, and I gave it up and sold it here at the store, not really thinking, oh, long term I want comic books that relate to cards.
Right. No, Pancake, the Cyberpunk set is never going to be a thing.
Only 3,000 copies.
Can you
Lower print
imagine?
run.
Can you
Lower
imagine
print
like
run than
in
this.
20 years, people are like scrambling for those? We're all going to be.
I heard in movies it's Marvel Phase 9. So tell your friends. And
The pump starts here.
I heard it on Graded Gamers channel first.
Don't do that.
So now let's get to some fun.
Okay,
and
wait. Can you see the comment? You can probably. Are you only seeing Instagram? Menu's asking if the Nabisco had 2 covers.
I am not aware of a second cover, but I cannot swear it didn't.
He said Sienkiewicz did a cover.
So what I remember with Sienkiewicz cover was that was Wolverine number 145 or 150. That was the Dynamic Forces cover. Now, am I thinking of a different cover, or because he might have obviously done more Wolverine, but the Sienkiewicz cover from that era that really stands out to me was either 145 or 150. The when he got back the adamantium or the anniversary at 150, he had a cover that was done by Dynamic Forces at that time, and that was a really big deal. So that might be the one that's in people's heads, or I might just be wrong and there's 2 Nabisco ones. We did not send in, and I can show off real quickly just so we can complete the base set. These were ones that
these have greater notes on them, everyone.
Yeah,
please.
she wrote
Please
right on
ignore
the
that.
card. Just
It's my very complicated system for when I'm reviewing cards.
so if you'd like to see me
if I ever review cards for you guys, I will not send them back to you like this. I only did it because it's Keith, and I wanted him to see where I saw some of the issues on some of these cards, like that Venom.
I think it's great. I think everybody should ask for this if you ever do reviews for them, because like part of the whole reason about this is that I do want to know how to do this as best as possible. This was my last 9 I needed. I had to buy this one off of eBay because I could never get a graded 9 on it.
Carlos, some of them would have qualified for a hell no. I was so bummed about the Gambit.
And again, surface issues, edging, accumulation of just enough to like keep it outside the range. Could a couple of these, if we'd submitted them all, sneak in as 8s?
Yeah, like
maybe.
that one was like a no shot.
You thought it was a 4 or 5?
Yeah, that one's really bad.
I'm trying to look at it real quick because it's funny. Oh, just because it's bent, whatever.
Yeah, it's got a crease. diagonal crease.
Like 2 of them. It's just bent, whatever.
Probably binder damage, which is a thing.
Could have gotten a 9, whatever. What a bummer.
Yeah, I was bummed about that one. About that one.
This is one of the hardest cards in the set to grade. So those were the bases that didn't make it. Now we can move into the insert sets.
Charlie, welcome. Chris Carter, welcome.
These are the double impact insert set.
I was excited for this one.
I did not give you a full set of these.
Did not.
I think I only gave you all the double impacts we did grade. I think we only did 3 of them. I think that's all I had on this buy. But you guys can see how it's a raised card, which adds extra complication.
I was more nervous about those dark edges.
I agree. And it hits an 8. Again, how unhappy can you be with a multi-$100 card in an 8? Like, I think that's just fine. We hit target on it exactly where we wanted to be.
Manu, I felt so bad that I jumped. We had access to the PSA head grader. Look at that. Look at the back of this card. It's got a bum corner. And by bum, I mean a little bit of white. But I was really excited.
Trying to get a little bit. Just a tit. You could have used the kit and like.
Oh, you guys are killing me.
No? Is that not recommended on this channel?
Poor man. We had access to the new head grader for PSA, and immediately I launched into what are his thoughts on pressing and how it compares to the cards, and he was very kind.
This one got a 9. I believe I already have a 9 on this one. I think it's one of the ones. I think there's only. I really think on Double Impacts there's only 2 that I don't have a 9 on. And I think that this Human Torch Rogue one is one of them.
Chris Carter, you're an 8.
The Spidey double got an 8. Yeah.
All right, so we're getting into the more exciting cards now.
We're not done yet.
No, I mean, they're still 96s, but they're the more exciting 96s.
I'm telling you, so we did not submit these 2, only because it looked like a dog had chewed on the border.
Yes, Chris.
These 2 did not go in. The others did go in. I know one of my gold galleries is like a 7, I think. Yeah. I had 0 9s until this. To hit this in a 9 is outstanding.
Yeah, when I saw that card in hand, I was very surprised that it has existed ungraded in this condition.
There are 3 major problems with keeping this card in a high grade, and one is centering right off the bat. Centering sucks on these. There's centering problems on so many of them. Number 2 is just straight edge wear. That edge chipping is
the edges
awful.
Are terrible.
And then number 3 is the gold foil is slightly raised, so it very quickly can become compressed and show very poorly. Like I said, I got to look at my list. This might even be an upgrade at an 8.
Yeah, that one had a corner.
Yep, I see it. The lower right here. Just a little bit going on down there.
These were so fun to look at, though.
Another 8 on this. And the Beast. Oh, I mean Wolverine.
I know.
Honestly, it's the only art I don't love in the set. I love so much else, but this just always confused me. I go, why is Beast here? And it says
Wolverine. I always thought, for the longest, it says Wolverine right on the front, and I kept for years. I thought it was Sabretooth.
Yeah, and you know what? You stare long enough, you get it. It's there.
It's because reading is hard.
So then one last detour before we get to the meat of the show. They call it 2021. I call it 2020 because of when it really released. Marvel X-Men Metal Universe. The blacks are the ePack exclusive. They are the combine 100 to make one happen. So you would combine a 100 base cards or 100 high series cards, which were harder to get, and you would make a black.
Those have a really subtle foiling that you like. I don't see it looking through the camera right now, but in hand they look really nice.
So we had, what was that, 2 9s? Oh no, 2 8s and 1 9. So I got the 9 I need for that set.
TC, I think he's got a couple extras.
Yeah, I mean, these are the one I need for the set is going to replace one in the set. Plus these. This is definitely stuff that is available. Boom Boom is up next. We have, what is it, 2 9s and an 8 for these black.
You can kind of catch the hollow a little bit on those. That one in the middle when you move it. It's really hard to see.
It's tough, and my lighting's not the greatest for... It's also difficult. I have seen some of these graded incorrectly. Somebody called them a black when they weren't a black.
Some of them, the difference is a little bit tricky if you don't have them side by side.
I was very apprehensive when the other Cyclops got rejected, and we were only sending one in. But I'm so happy it hit 9. It would have been a sore point of my of trying to build that collection that way. Toad has 5. He got 88999, I think. Yeah, 3 9s and 2 8s.
So these were a little chippy. I think it was the back on these.
This entire set is really difficult. All of the Skybox metal, because of the cardstock that they used, the cutters that they used, it's a difficult set to see truly high grade stuff in. So those replace, I guess it was only 4 or 5 there that I needed to replace inside the set. And then at the same time, we sent in the highs that I had that would grade all right, because these are they're going to be easier to sell as. I have my complete set of this. It's not graded. I mostly was okay with that. We'll see. Every time I get graded cards in my hand, I get more and more tempted to do more grading.
Oh no. See, that one you can see the holo.
Yes.
I love that one.
Early Kitty.
Hey, Jonathan, there's Psylocke for you.
I think I talked to Jonathan. I think he's already got this one taken care of. This one does show really well. And if you guys don't know this source, this is actually from UK Magazine Comics, where she was as the brother of Captain Britain. And she kind of worked for like their secret missions, like their spy agency over there. A couple last.
I can't wait until we're looking at Justice League Black cards.
And it's just through my buying and trading. I just had enough to make these black, so did it. I think all these came out as 8s.
Yeah, they're just a little bit chippy.
It's super difficult to find great ones on that stuff. It's really bad.
Ooh, here we go.
The rest.
All right, Keith, what do you think the print run is on the blacks? Brian wants to know.
So low series blacks, best we had estimates on those, that those probably did get up to it's a real rough number because so many of us transferred off, but there's probably, we all feel comfortable under 50. High series feels closer to being under 20. But I got to go back to some really, really old notes, and a lot of people I consulted over that.
And I did see Keith harass people at the Upper Deck booth at San Diego about not releasing print runs. I saw it.
So I talked to Upper Deck, and I understand that there may be some marketing reasons and some logistical reasons why you don't put out an exact print run, because again, promises never made, can't be promises broken. But take something like this. Take the Marvel Beginnings original. These are the holograms from 2011 and 2012 spread out among 3 different series. There is a way for those of us who have calculators to calculate the print run of this. They're not quite as rare as some people believe them to be. They're about 50 to 55 copies of every hologram in existence. But they're not serial numbered, so that for a long time really affected their values. I will say some of these, when you're hitting a 9 on Carnage.
Yeah, and PSA was kind enough, because I'm local, they let me do a drop off and pickup, because after seeing what Keith sent for me to review, I was super stressed about putting these into the mail. I'm sure it would have been fine. Wouldn't have been a problem, but I reached out and said, I've got these cards. They're pretty, for Marvel, they're pretty big, and can I drop them off? And they let me.
Doc Ock with a 9. I have tried to pick these cards up in trades and buys off eBay, opening up boxes. There was one point in time when I was on Watch Me Open, and I opened up a whole bunch of boxes because I tried to buy out everything I could that was reasonably priced and just chase holograms for a while and autographs.
I missed that.
But that was, like a lot of this stuff is from my original purchasing back. This was the last set I collected before I took like a 4-year break.
I think a lot of people take a break. I remember, at least locally to me, I remember these boxes just sitting around.
Yeah, and I would have, anytime I saw them, I tried to buy them. I love the holograms. I love the throwback. I love the autograph. Obviously, the autographs. I'm still missing 42 Stanley autographs out there, which will never get completed. But everything else in the set, I have a complete set of the cuts, which is really difficult.
I love this one. This is one of my favorites.
Mysterio is absolutely... He always presents well on the card.
So frequently with these, the issue was the backside, the edges.
I have like your buddy here rejected.
I was so bummed on this one. He was surface issues on the front.
Okay. It's really tough to catch that in the light, but yeah. I do see a little bit of it. Yeah.
Again, we were looking for 8s or better, so
for the villains, he didn't make it, and
I like that one too. They just didn't make the cut.
The other Spider-Man card didn't make it.
Billy, welcome.
So villains were all in Series 1. 42 cards to the set. I actually am kind of surprised. I felt actually really, really happy about how many of these were 8 and 9s. A lot of my purchasing did not focus upon that, about making sure that I had the best condition.
Oh, really?
A lot of times when I'm chasing something as rare as this, I tend to just buy because it's available. Like,
right.
It's a bad way to
well, I mean, at a certain point though, if something is so rare, you almost don't care what it's going to grade if you need it.
Well, and that's the point, is like there's a lot of these cards here. Like, this is a 9. This is great. I have no idea what the pop count is. I don't care because it's just not something I'm trying to put a price tag on. These cards are not worth anything because they aren't going to be sold. But if you want to say, if I ever wanted to try to build a 9 set and I don't have to chase Carnage and Venom,
this is why I wanted to drop these off and not personally put these in the mail.
None of these are worth more than $150.
Yeah, sure.
Remember, don't get us upcharged after the fact.
There were upcharges on.
There were a couple upcharges.
There were 7 upcharges.
I think that sounds right.
Psylocke was an upcharge.
I also had 3 additional, and this is where I started that story about I didn't check for things. 3 holograms were rejected due to size. They're too small. And I genuinely think I pulled the first one out and compared it and took a look. I think I bought some bad cards. Really?
You don't it could be factory miscut though.
Yeah, so here's what I don't believe it's factory on this. I pulled out this lizard and really compared it. It's crooked this way and straight this way. That is a real high sign of trimming, that somebody can't trim straight. Your buddy Loki didn't make it.
I know, that one is so... It's so hard to see these through the camera. That Loki's beautiful in person with the hologram background.
And the Red Skull did not make it. While we're on villains and just wrapping that up, I wanted to flash this one out that I already owned graded. I bought this
I
one.
love that one.
This Dracula is amazing. And then in my recent pile of, we're going to have to evaluate these next, Enchantress is up.
That's a good one.
Series 2 was X-Men. The backgrounds pop a little bit better. Not only does obviously the holographic X symbol is really cool, but there's an X you can see behind and an X down here.
Yeah, there's actually a lot. I think there's like little tiny words too. There's a lot going on in the background there.
Yes. It says the word X-Men, 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 X-Men throughout that whole thing. It's kind of tough to catch that, but
yeah.
At the era, there was a lot of the new X-Men type stuff, the Grant Morrison run. So that's where you get Angel. Art selection on this was fantastic. Obviously, X-Men being my favorites. I also got my hands on more Series 2 and Series 3 boxes, so it was easier to turn around, and I'm deeper on these sets. Butthead Bishop. Let's see here. My boy. It's funny because I get hypnotized by the holograms, and I've barely paid attention to the grades.
Yeah, they just look really good. Bobicus is still hunting the Psylocke Hollow.
I know, so that is easily the most. It's the second most popular from the X-Men set. I'm missing the most popular, which is Wolverine.
I think the X-23 is my favorite. So it'll be interesting to compare these to the new Beginnings Hollows that just released with Series 2.
Mm-hmm. I could bring those out here at the end. I have a small stack of those already.
That Havoc is nice.
Havoc's definitely one of my favorites. He got the enhancement of the extra patterning around him.
You can call it a bullseye. It's okay.
We don't use that word. Hope. What's funny is this, when you start seeing some of this, then your mind switches. This is the same art that's on her EX Sentry.
Oh, okay.
For one of the Hope cards in the most recent.
Oh, I like that one a lot too. I forgot about that one.
Yeah, dots and art will do that. It's pretty popular. Long shot.
Yeah,
almost 100% sure this long shot is actually Ultimate Universe long shot.
Yeah, I need like an Art Adams long shot.
I have some comic clippings of that. This Marvel Girl's amazing.
Oh, Brian, do they? I haven't seen them in any in person yet.
Which one?
Brian says that the new hollows remind him of the Marvel Annual foil.
This one's got a lot where you can see that background, so you guys can see all those dots in the upper right. That's where it's repeating the word X-Men. There's actually, you can see here that it actually says X-Men in the background, and you get the extra X's. I think it would be probably too far for me to chase this set all the way to 9s.
Oh, I think on this, with how with the issues of like the almost like peeling and chipping on the back of these, 8s are like, it's like PMGs almost. Be very pleased with 8s.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty happy there.
Yeah, the Psylocke is really good. I really like the Storm too.
Greg Land on the Storm art. Warpath. I mean, almost these are all exclusively almost 8s.
Warpath is one of those weird characters where I feel like I know 4 people who don't read comics who have Warpath tattoos.
Vulcan. There's your X-23 you're talking about.
Yeah, I really like that one.
It's good art for her. It's very good. Ones that did not make the grade cut.
I was sad there were so many, but see, so this is what I was talking about. If these were mine, I would have been so emotionally invested. I would have been making excuses as to why they could maybe 8. But because they weren't mine, I could be a little more rational about it.
And then others I already owned, already graded. I have Cannonball, Gambit.
Oh, I don't know if I've seen the Gambit before. That's cool.
Some of my more recent purchases had to be graded copies because that's what was on the market.
Oh, that one's cool.
Lorna in a 9.
I think that's like my least favorite look for her.
Warpath. And then doubles or brand new ones. I just got Namor. And I just recently got a double on Storm. Then Avengers were in the 3rd series. And you got some repeat characters here between ones that were X-Men and
Babaka said he's going to help you with your doubles.
If he's got ones I'm missing, I'm trading away. This would be my favorite set of all time to complete. This would definitely be. If I was just going to pick, you can only finish one of your sets, and then you have to give up. It would be Beginnings.
Yeah, but that's like ultimately a 1,700 card set.
Well, for the first 3 Beginnings, I'm missing now right at about 40 holograms, about a third of the holograms, and I'm missing probably 60 autographs, but 42 of those autographs are Stan Lee.
Oof.
And that would be a absolute master set. I have everything else. But you're also talking about 540 of those cards are base cards, very easy to hit. Like they're a little bit more expensive.
They're not too bad though. I think I bought a set not long ago.
I'll call it like 100 or 150 is a little bit more expensive.
I'm pretending that this is Lester.
You want it to be?
Because it's a very dark looking Hawkeye.
Menacing.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit before Dark Reign.
That's a good one. You don't see enough Hellcat.
No, Patsy's. Herc.
That's a good one.
On the Avengers set, I have the big boys. There's still a couple cards that I need that are a little bit bigger. I got a 9 on Machine Man. That's nice. The Mockingbird is an amazing shot.
I like that one. I was gonna like use that one as a promo, but I didn't want to make Jonathan happy.
This guy's more popular now.
I know. That one's really pretty.
Really good art on that. I think it's Jim Chung. You took this guy out for a tan one day.
I did. I had to see that one in the sun.
Again, you can see where the different patterning, where they used all the different Avenger logos in the background. Thor. Is this the only hologram I think that hit 7? I can't remember.
Yeah, I felt like he was on the fence.
I can't be.
He was on the fence and I had rejected so many.
I can't be mad about that. He's still a bigger character.
I wish that Tigra wasn't so dark.
It's actually one of my favorite Vision looks.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
Wasp. And Wolverine. I'm missing the X-Men Wolverine, which is that's definitely Jim Chung art. And that one, this one's Bianchi. So it's slightly debatable as to which one's more popular, right? Do you want one that says Avengers or do you want one that says X-Men? But then you also get to play which artist do you like better. Ones I already owned. Iron Fist. Shang-Chi.
Oh my god. I didn't realize Squirrel Girl had a card in this. Wow.
Yeah. And I had an extra Vision.
So you have
to be evaluated. Like maybe we could send in
Double Vision. Anybody? Nobody.
Captain America's new. He will not grade high, but
you might not care. You're not gonna be able to get another one.
That was my point. Person that traded it to me can out themselves if they like, but they were very, very upfront and honest about the. It's a little bit of a. It's just a corner ding going on down there. You kind of see it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not concerned.
I really didn't know that. Yeah, Bob, because I didn't know that Squirrel Girl had that card in the set. Never seen it. Oh, you needed one of those because I rejected one of those.
Yeah, the rejected pile was Luke Cage, Quicksilver, Sentry, and U.S. Agent. And who knows, maybe you're just going to reject the other U.S. Agent too when we look at it, but it's possible.
No, he's a Thunderbolt. I'm a fan. He's got...
Oh, I'm saying the great rejecting for grading.
I know.
So yeah, that's the submission.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun to review those for you. It was fun. It was fun to go pick them up at PSA to see the new building. They're still, I think, still designing and building it out. The lobby looks unfinished.
It's probably the one I'm the happiest with. Like, I love all my holograms, but in my goal of I'll never see 9s for this set, we found one.
Yeah, I was very shocked. Like, I just anticipate shipping on those. It's just how bad is it going to be?
It's the way that set is. Like, it's just. Let me grab. I should be able to grab it real quick. I can grab the new holograms and we can look at those real quick.
Okay. I think he also had one. Yes, it was an orange. Is it orange checkerboard? I can't remember all the different platinum parallels. He got one of those back in a 10, but he's already. It was somebody else's card. I think it was someone in a break. So that person already picked it up.
All right. We've opened up a little bit of this. So the brand new set.
Okay, so they do look similar.
I think they kept it really, really close. Because this set combines both heroes and villains and isn't broken out like X-Men or anything like that, the backgrounds are pretty basic to Marvel logo and Beginnings logo. They do have both Beginnings logos on there of the original series and the new ones. I feel like the technology is very, very similar. And I think that I'm going to blame somebody and call it deliberate, that they did the same thing. Which, me as somebody who appreciates the historian of it.
Yeah, I like it. Oh, I like that one.
I have no idea why.
She's a mood. That's a good one too. Always Namor. Man, they're just always.
It's always.
That's a good one. He's so serious.
I have one here that may be a debut on your channel. I haven't seen anyone else hit it.
Did I know that you pulled this?
I don't even know.
All right, so you're gonna have to finish these now for sure. Now that
It's
that's out
100
of the way.
them. They're coming about 3 to a case, is what I've seen. 2 to 3 to a case. And they come together. So, like, those last 3 were in the same case, and they're numbered 98, 99, and 100.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's kind of funny that way, but.
Huh.
I don't think the packers who were making the packs shuffled the cards very much. But kind of let you know if you're buying into a case. You're like, oh, well, don't buy the rest of these boxes because I've already got that hologram. If it was just chasing it. But we'll see. We'll see if it all comes out the same way.
Oh, are you breaking these tomorrow? What are you breaking tomorrow?
I'm taking the night off.
Oh, no kidding. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna figure out what we're doing and probably come back next week. I'm looking at the schedule to figure out what fits the best. I still am buried under tasks and things to do since coming back from San Diego. So we're gonna have to catch up a little bit on stuff like that before we can turn around and have more fun with cards. But
that makes sense. That's a lot.
We'll be doing it shortly. We'll be back at it shortly.
Well, thanks for letting me review those. It was fun.
It's a lot of fun.
And thanks for showing them here.
I appreciate your help on this.
I may potentially be offering my services at some point going forward for card review.
Please bug her and tell her that she should, because
it's fun.
I've been in the hobby a long, long time. I've done some level of grading myself, and I would prefer and appreciate working with somebody that has another expertise eye and kind of helps me see some things. So I think it's a smart thing for you to do.
Well, it's fun.
If you can figure out how it fits in your schedule.
Yeah, that's it. It does take a little bit of time. That's the only thing, but it's fun. And if PSA will let me drop off and pick up,
that would help. That would help the situation.
Yeah, because that was a huge load off for those cards, especially once they came back graded. Carlos, no problem.
I know you're all paranoid about them, and then I threw them into checked baggage, so that was real funny.
Oh, I couldn't believe you checked them. That was, oh God. Can you believe that? Like, I'm at least going to put that card in my purse, right? Like, I'm not...
It's worth nothing.
Only because you're not selling it.
Exactly. That's the lesson in life. Besides, it's the if they had just lost all my luggage or whatever, and I lost these forever, it would have been the perfect reason to give up on collecting.
Oh my God. Stop looking for a reason. And Carlos, if Eric sent me cards, they'd all be Rogi Vachon, and then what would I do? Oh no, that's not his person, is it? It's not Rogi. Who is it? It's Marcel Dion. I mixed up my kings.
This is not going to come through, is it?
You can no, I can see it at that angle.
The Dread Duck Pirate, legendary artist, flying. He gets plus 1.0. So every contracted job is 100% chance of finally making Mark's dad proud. This is Mark Brooks's business card. The only other thing I had in my pile from San Diego.
San Diego was fun, and now the next show is the Toronto Expo.
How far out is that?
That is November. Our group was talking today about booking. Carlos, hopefully the hotel we stayed at last time is close enough for you, because I'm pretty sure you've already booked your luxurious king suite wherever you stay in your mystery hotel. So if anyone in here is tempted to go to the Toronto show, I can't recommend it enough. It's a great show. It's mostly hockey. There is some non-sport, some older stuff, some vintage. But it's a lot of fun. Yeah, those are nice. And you checked those. So irritating.
Funny to me.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I guess we'll end it here, because otherwise we'll probably start breaking something, and it's already 7.
Yeah, it's probably time to find food.
All right. Well, thanks for sharing this with us. Thanks for letting us see these.
It was a blast. Thanks.
And hopefully we will have some more soon, and I will have some hockey soon at some point.
Nice.
And you can sit on that too. And you can do the color commentary as an Avalanche fan. Maybe not.
I have to figure out how much can I temper my opinions of other teams.
Yeah, you guys are kind of snobby. Avs fans are snobby. That's what I've decided.
Yeah, you guys say that enough that I've decided to steer into it.
Well, it's because it's true.
I've never seen it.
Boston fans are the worst. But Avs fans, they're up there. Unlike Dallas fans, who are delightful.
I've never seen that.
That's true. All right. Well, I'm just gonna end up working my way through the whole league. So
Yep.
Let's just call it. Thanks, everybody. I will post these up in case you came in late and you wanted to see his full collection. He started with 96 Marvel Masterpieces, went into the ePack exclusive black X-Men metal, which are really condition sensitive. Thank you, Upper Deck QC. And then the holograms, which are beautiful. So you'll be able to take a look at that if you missed any of those. And hopefully we will be able to do this again soon. And hopefully Babakis finds his Psylocke. Although Babakis only buys Psylocks, I think, in groups of 5. So he's going to need 5 of them. Farrell's asking, how many 96s did you have?
In this show or in total graded? So in this show, I think we showed off about, I want to say we were about 60, 65, maybe 70 with the inserts. I think that sounds right. Maybe. Yeah, I think that's right. I now have, I have my 112 at home. I'll be upgrading a couple here, and then I probably have an additional 500 graded, and I really need to start putting those up on the website to start selling them, because I don't even know why I'm even holding on to that many at this point.
So I'm hearing that people should be comfortable reaching out to you with any they might need.
100%. I definitely have. I don't know about all the inserts, but I definitely at least have one of every other card available, varying conditions. If you are interested in a graded card, but want to stay on the cheap end, I don't have many 5s and 6s. There was one, I think there was one 5 mistake I made, but there's some 6s and 7s, and then I have a lot that are in the 8 to 9 range, and then I have about, I think we're at about 100 10s that I'm going to price out and make available.
Whew. Pricing these would be a pain in the ass.
Pricing is really difficult. There's not a lot of comps on this, and I want to kind of keep it in range. Although
the comps that there would be from the dark times.
So recently there have been some 10s selling. Some 10s, I have not seen a 10 recently go for under 400. 10s are picking up a really good premium. I know a couple larger collectors that are chasing.
See, that's when my collection becomes fine at 9s, and then I'm flipping the 10s to fund the rest of my grading.
That's where I'm at. I'm keeping my 9s. I'm keeping a set of 9s, and then 10s are what I'm selling. I wanted to put a whole 10 together and find some big, crazy, I've got so much more money that I know what to do with, and sell a completed 10 set, but I just don't think I'll get there.
Be nice to display, though.
Oh, it would. It's a premium set.
It is. All right. I'm going to call it, because otherwise we're just going to keep looping ourselves back in, because we can talk about this for hours. So thanks again, you guys, for coming by. Hopefully we can do another one of these soon. And again, I'll leave this up on YouTube, so you guys, if you missed the first part, you can scan through it and see his cards. So thanks, you guys.
Thank you.